We've always had American buyers and Canadian buyers, but they've always made up a sort of small minority of our buyers. If I look at the figures for I think it's our last 24 sales, the Americans are out in front with 6.
So I'm with Sean Woolley, Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain. This is the market update that we do. And the first question I have for you, Sean, is where have you been?
Where have I been? Hi, Alfredo. Thanks for having me. Yes, as you can probably tell from my sort of croaky voice, I've been out of action for a few weeks. I had surgery on my throat. Nothing too major, but fortunately, when they went in, I think they bruised some of my vocal cords. So slowly but surely, my voice is coming back to annoy the masses. So this is the first thing we've done, isn't it, really, since then? So apologies for but we'll get there.
So brace yourself. Lots of videos of Sean talking coming now that the voice is back.
Exactly. Got to make up for lost time because I've just been sitting behind a desk, like doing paperwork, and well, shouldn't be paperwork. Should all be on screen. But yes, I'm a bit. I want to get out there and do stuff.
How's the market?
How's the market? The market is bearing up really well. I just did the figures comparing to last year, which was our busiest year ever in terms of number of transactions and in terms of transaction values. And we're pretty much on a par, which is great. Obviously, it becomes a bit of a roller coaster. Some months are busy, some months aren't. But so far this year, been busy right across the board. July and August is always a little bit strange. August particularly because you get a lot of people, a lot of inquiries because a lot of people are here seeing what could be theirs, and of course they make inquiries. So we're always very busy. We always have a lot of clients, a lot of tours. Doesn't always translate into the best quality in terms of the people who've specifically made time to come here to look at property. But we had our fair share. After Ramadan, we had a lot of people from the Arab countries, the Middle East, coming over to view. And more recently, because of the dollar-euro exchange rate, we've had a lot of Americans. But yeah, August has been very good, and September has started extremely well. So no complaints.
Now, is this interest from the US interest, or is it translating to sales?
It's definitely translating to sales. The last 4 deals we've done have all been to, 3 Americans, 1 Canadian.
But North Americans.
Yeah, North Americans. And they've made, specific trips to come here to look at properties and to decide. And because they're traveling so far, it's not like coming from the UK where you can just hop on a plane 2 or 3 times over the course of your buying journey. If you're coming all the way from the States and Canada, if you're coming over to look at property, you're looking at property and you're probably going to buy one because you're here on a mission and you don't want to have to come back next month. And so, yeah, it's been good times. And those clients tend to buy at a decent level, particularly if they're looking to acquire the golden visa. It means they have to invest more than €500,000. So I think our average transaction with our North American friends has been over €1 million.
How does this compare to previous years? I mean, you've been here in business for close to 20 years. So
we've always had American buyers and Canadian buyers, but they've always made up a sort of small minority of our buyers. If I look at the figures for I think it's our last 24 sales, the Americans are out in front with 6, which is the first time I've ever seen that balance shifting so markedly like that. The next dominant nationality is Kuwait with 3, and the Netherlands with 3.
Where's the UK in all of this?
The UK, we had 2. So there's a lot of countries with 1. So out of those 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think we've had 14 different nationalities, which is astonishing and still backs up the fact that it's a multinational destination.
So the traditional approach of just targeting the UK, Benelux, and Scandinavia, that's not where all the buyers are coming from, is it? Because maybe 5 years ago, that's where maybe 80-90% of all the buyers were. If you just
absolutely, and even when we look back to the kind of just before the pandemic and the first year of the pandemic, our dominant buyers were from the UK, Sweden, and Belgium, and it was always the UK number 1, and then Belgium and Sweden would kind of swap depending on the quarter or the year. And now it's there's lots of different people looking to get a piece of the action. And as I say, because of the American currency market, a lot of people are realizing that a European asset is a decently priced investment.
With the North American buyers, given the time difference, how much harder is it to actually contact them.
Yeah, we normally have to work late into the evenings, which is fine. I mean, if that's where our buyers are, then we have to adjust our business accordingly. And we know what it's like in this business. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It's not a 5-day-a-week job. We do a lot of work at weekends because that's when clients can get here. And in the evenings is when most of our clients are busy, high-earning clients. That's when they have a bit of free time and they can talk. So we're used to dealing with people at all hours of the day and night.
And is it because of the distance that you mentioned? I would imagine, even though this was a general trend that you identified post-COVID, particularly to do with people doing more research, so fewer viewings but higher viewing to sale conversions. I would imagine that's even more enhanced with the North American. The amount of research that you're probably doing for them in advance is even greater, I guess, than other nationalities, I would imagine. No?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the recent client we had from the States, my colleague who dealt with them did a lot of video work with them 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they actually almost reserved over the phone or over video, but they obviously wanted to get down here and touch it, feel it, and they actually bought in the same development that they fancied from the video. So that was good. They felt very comfortable because they already felt that they got to know the place. So it was work and time well spent, I think. I'm always amazed that with the Americans and Canadians, they think that the Costa del Sol is such a tiny little place. So they always say, we're going to fly into Madrid, spend a couple of days there, then we're going to sort of scoot on down to the Costa del Sol, and they, whereas for me a 20-minute drive down the coast is a long time. For them, it's oh my god, it's nothing. So we've had clients who bought in Sota Grande, we've had clients Mijas Costa, Marbella. Some of the clients, they actually, they like to be near the ocean. They like to have that Mediterranean kind of vibe. A lot of them like to be near the more cultural things. So maybe at the old town of Marbella, but it really does vary. It's a whole different.
So would they consider somewhere like Montemayor, where you are right now, beachside?
No.
Okay.
That's taking it a bit too far.
Everything looking good for the rest of the quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking very promising. We've got some very good clients booked in who didn't want to be part of the August madness, because of course the problem in August is that a lot of people are here. They want to combine their little holiday with the family, with some looking at properties. The problem is that probably 50 or 60% of the resale market is out of bounds. It's rented out. So it's a nightmare for us. So anyone who is looking specifically to buy a resale property, i.e. not a new development, please don't come in August, because it's just a nightmare, and you're not actually helping yourselves because you're not seeing all of the stock that would normally be available. Now we're into September, that problem has eased up, but yeah, bear in mind next year.
And it's nicer to be here at this time. There's less traffic. The weather's a little bit more bearable.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's just, I think that summer ended yesterday. I think it just dropped by about 5 degrees. I've got my shirt on there rather than my T-shirt. You're dressed in black. Thank you, in honor of the Queen. Well done. And yeah, I think we're getting back to some sense of normality. You always look serene and like you. I look like a sweaty beaver, and you look like Matt. Just like, is it a particular lighting you're using?